How nice is it to get everybody back?
It was great. You want to get back in the gym because you got a tough stretch coming up, and so you want to get back in the gym as soon as you can with everybody. And it was good to see everybody out there engaged and competitive and trying to get after it the right way today.
How did Fox and Sabonis look their first day back with the full team?
Good. They have the shortest end of this whole deal. It's a great thing to be an all-star, but you also have to pay a little bit for being an all-star because you don't get as much time off. And I guess why those guys make the big bucks. But it was good to see them out there with their teammates.
With Fox back with the full team, was there any razzing of him for his missed dunk, or anybody say anything to him?
No, nobody said. We got a nice group of guys. Nobody's saying anything to anybody.
Whole bunch of sweethearts.
Yeah, sweetheart. Now they will kill us though as coaches. Now.
Okay.
Yeah, they talk about no lotion on my hands. That's why I keep my hands in my pocket. Sometimes I don't put lotion on my ankles. So I got even a nice guy like HB would kill me. So I got to watch those guys. But they won't. They're pretty nice with one another.
Cutthroat.
Did your mom call you about the gum chewing yesterday?
Not yet. We did talk briefly, but I told her and I love you, Ma, I do love you, but she's a little long-winded like I am sometimes. That's where I got it from. But I called her for a quick second about something, and she was like, but I need to talk. I said, Mom, I got to call you back. I'll call you back. And so we hung up. That was probably part of it. I don't know. But I'm going to avoid her for the next couple of days and see if she forgets.
You've practiced a lot, and I've heard some of the guys mention that they feel like they haven't practiced this much since they were in college. Could you explain your philosophy behind that and maybe how you manage the practice schedule over these last 25 games, given things are condensing and you want to get guys ready for the playoffs?
Yeah, the tough part about it is as a new group, and especially a young group, you want to try to develop habits the right way. And the reality of it is we still, as you guys all know, have a ways to go defensively. And our offense is clicking surprisingly as well as it is. But until we can get some of the basics of what we're trying to do schematically, especially defensively down, and do it consistently at a high level, we got to spend time working at it. And so for me, a lot of it is based upon how the results are or the outcome, not the score, but the outcome is of what we're trying to get accomplished defensively, mainly from these games. And if we're doing what we're supposed to be doing, then I'll be the first to say, because I've said it to our guys plenty of time, if we do this, then we won't have to do this tomorrow. If we do that, we don't have to do this in 2 days. And as time goes on and we're together longer, and we have a nucleus that is able to go out there and do things at a high level on both ends of the floor, that's the time that we'll back off. I always tell people ask, as a coach, when are you most happiest or satisfied with your team? And I know the thing that excites me the most as a coach is when those guys start coaching themselves, when they know right away the mistake that they made individually or as a group, and they're correcting it without me saying anything, and holding each other accountable without me saying anything, and then eliminating those mistakes as time goes on, then I know, okay, we've gotten someplace, and then that's when you back off.
So where are you at? Where are the players at in that process? Are you seeing any of that?
We're trending upwards. I don't know how high up the mountain we are, but we are trending upwards, and that's a good thing to see.
When the West is as tight as it is, and all these teams are 3, 4, 5 games apart, how do you keep your team from standings watching and getting caught up in where they are in the West and in the standings?
The biggest way to do that is just emphasizing the next game. I've had people come to me and say, hey, all you got to do is win this many games out of 25, or hey, okay, duh, yeah. I mean, yeah, makes sense. But it's easier to say those things than to actually go out there and do it. And I was talking to Jordi. You usually have 2 different types of people. You have results-oriented people, and you have process-oriented people. And if your process is right, then the results will come. But if you just talk and think about the results, which is how many games do you need to win out of 25, well, if your process is screwed up, it's going to be impossible to get there. unless you get a little lucky. So I believe in our process. I think our guys believe in our process, even though they said, but you had mentioned about practice. And we'll see at the end of the day how it turns out. I know this is the most important stretch that any of these guys have faced collectively as a group in their short careers, and so it'll be interesting to see if we're up to the test.
With how tight all those standings are, the amount of pieces that have come in from the deadline over the last week, couple of weeks rather, how important is it for you guys as a staff to not try and rush that process or feel maybe frustrated if the process in one game or one practice isn't where you want it to be relative to what you want the goals to be?
No, it's huge. We have to stay the course and coach the process more than at a high level now more than any other time, because they can't feel that we're just looking at results. Because again, in my opinion, you start doing that, it ends up being short-term success, and we're here for the long term. We want long-term success at a very, very high level, and so for us, it's about the process. It's about us still continuing to emphasize, the 5-game mini seasons that we've emphasized all year long, and to try to at minimum go 3-2 during that time, looking at that instead of again looking at where we're sitting now, where we're sitting next week, where we're sitting the following week, because it could drive anybody crazy with as tight as this race is.
Mike, we saw you out here talking to Jordi, and his name's been mentioned with the Atlanta job. Just, I guess, how good does that feel to have like one of your guys that you discovered, but also like how do you keep it from being a distraction, and where's your sort of process on what you would allow him to do or conversations you'd allow him to have?
I being in the position that I'm in, yes, I'm here coaching this team and trying to help these guys win at a high level, but at the end of the day, everybody wants to have some sort of individual success in life, and I truly believe that can fit into any team environment as long as you have good people handling it the right way. And it's no different from a player to a coach. A player like DeAaron, he eventually wants to probably start someday and be an all-star someday, but he understands what we need from him right now in his role to help him get there and help us get there. It's no different for Jordi. Jordi is a fantastic human being. He's a fantastic coach. He will be a head coach in this league someday. He's ready for it right now, and I look at it more as an honor, not just because of what he's doing, but because of what the people around him are doing, from the rest of the staff and the rest of the players. And it's my job to try to help uplift or propel guys to a better place than what they were when they first got here. And if it's meant to be for Atlanta or anybody else to take him away as their head coach, I wouldn't be more happier, because he's definitely deserving of a head coaching opportunity sooner than later.
Thanks, guys.